DJ, did you get a haircut?
Oh, I got a wall cut.
Well, we got another, obviously great day. Super weather, Pittsburgh weather, tough weather today in Heinz Field. I sat in this meeting room earlier today and just talked to our kids about going out there. I had a conversation with some of our leadership council this morning. Just should we go out? Should we go in? And most of our guys, really all of them, we have one guy kind of sitting in the middle. Should we go to Heinz or should we go out there? And our guys were like, Coach, we need to go indoor stadium. And you worry about playing in the weather. You also worry about hitting a weight machine in the indoor facility now too. But we had a great day out in Heinz Field. Another opportunity to get out there and play the game where it's going to be played next week. Kind of put yourself in the shoes of the last game of the season against Syracuse. Really, November game. Playing for an ACC championship is really, the mindset we went into that thing today with. And our kids had a blast. They got off the bus saying, "Coach, great decision, go to Heinz Field." So it was a good day. Obviously, weather was a situation. And defense, I think, came out on top 32-30. Is that right, EJ? I think 32-30, so a little bit lower scoring game. I think he had two big plays in the game offensively, so the defense eliminated big plays. Had one turnover at the end of the game, and in a 2-minute situation. But overall, great work out there.
You come out of it healthy? I mean,
Came out of it healthy.
Yeah, that's probably your biggest concern going on a day like today, right?
Not really. I mean, a little bit. Just you feel like you're just we didn't want to tear up Heinz Field first of all, but wanted to get out there, and every day I got to practice, I worry about someone getting hurt. I mean, you're always worried about staying healthy and not losing anybody. But you're gonna have a bang and bruise here, but we came out pretty good.
Did you hold Jordan out?
No, he played a little bit,
Okay.
but then just kind of slipped him out of there.
Who are some of the guys in that leadership council that are sort of taking on that role this spring?
We've got a bunch of them. I think we got a dozen on there. But Bizdawati, Caprera, Galambos, Mon Price, Maddox, Briggs. That's just to name a few of them. A couple of freshmen, I think. Jimmy Madura is in that. But missing a few there.
How was that leadership council composed? I know with the Pirates, each position group sort of votes on one person to go meet with the manager. Yeah.
Well, we have
7 guys. Is it each class voting? Each position?
We sit in a team meeting room here, and everybody votes for a group. So the whole team votes for the senior class, and then you tally your votes up. You have 2, you have 3. Whole team votes for the junior class, and we'll vote all the time. When we get into camp in August, the upperclassmen's votes count as 2. The freshmen only count as 1 because they don't know as much. They're rookies, so we don't give them as much votes. But right now, all our guys except for 3 incoming guys, have to have 2 votes.
Did Jester play today? I didn't see his name on the
Who's
stat
that?
sheet. Jester Wheeler.
Yeah. I had some good defense on him today, and thrown into some heavy wins.
Is your defense ahead of your offense at this
Let me
point?
just go back. I don't know. I think both playing good. I mean, I think it comes down to balance. I think the one defense and the 2 defense are pretty balanced. I wouldn't say one's ahead of the other. It's bang bang, take a punch, give a punch. But maybe depth-wise on offense, maybe we're a little deeper than we are in defense. With guys that are out, our linebacker core with the 2s is young and inexperienced, and we got some good linebackers sitting on the sideline. But so that that balances out, numbers-wise. But it's happy, obviously, defensively, don't give up big points. I would like to see us rush the ball more and all those things. So I'm going to go watch the tape here as soon as we get done.
Things a little less clinical when you get out there in the elements, and there's more opportunity for mistakes to be made because of the conditions.
What's the question?
It's just, is it less clinical? Are things like different things happen when you get out there in weather and in the grass field that don't happen when you're in?
No doubt about it. I mean, you're out in the elements, and there's a wind condition, and you got to play the wind just like they have to in the Masters today. I think there's all those situations that you got to be aware of, we play the elements. So to be out there in the rain and the snow and wet grass, and there's certainly things that you have to do as a quarterback, receiver, and DB, keeping your feet up underneath you.
Do you have any thoughts on the NCAA's ruling to eliminate satellite camps yesterday?
I've got all kinds of thoughts. I always got thoughts. I could spend an hour, but I think you always look at it, and you can look at both sides of the story. As far as the ACC and what we voted on as head coaches in the conference. I think we obviously got what we wanted. And again, there's so many reasons that I think it's a good decision. I think we don't want to get. There's so many things that can happen when you're on the road with all these kids in different areas. And you talk about the head coach being in charge of recruiting or being in charge of violations and all that. I mean, there's just so many things that can happen when you're out there in the situations we're putting our coaches in. I think it's a great decision. And I've gone on record in the past of saying, our coaches need to be around our kids, here on campus. The month of May, we're on the road recruiting, and all of a sudden June, you're in and out, and you're not here with our kids, finishing up the semester. They're getting ready for summer school. Incoming freshmen are coming in. So it's hard to sit in a home and say you're going to be there for their kid when you're really not there. As far as, some people say that, you're taking opportunities away from kids to get scholarship offers. Kids are going to have offers. I mean, they're out there collecting, dozens. And, if there's a good player out there with Huddle and the technology of Twitter and putting your highlight tape on there, we find players. You don't need to go on a campus to find it. I just think it becomes, crazy out there, the wild, wild west. So I know the ACC is happy, and I'm happy.
But you can still go to IMG though, right? That doesn't stop anybody from going to high school camp like Michigan did.
No, you can't do that.
I thought this was just college campuses.
No, we still can't we can't go to a high school camp. We can go out in May and watch practice in May.
Okay.
During the evaluation period, but you can't.
So what Michigan did this year, they can't do now.
That's a whole different rule. That hasn't been decided yet.
That's what I mean. At this point, they can still do it,
We
right?
can still do that. I mean,
Yeah.
we can still go to Hawaii and have spring ball. Okay, but I'll get you guys a ticket. You guys will be on a charter plane. But right now, that hadn't been decided.
Okay.
You guys have practiced more at Heinz Field than teams have in the past. I mean, is that something based on feedback from players that they'd like to practice there more?
No, it's feedback from me. I thank Jimmy Sacco, and the Pittsburgh Steelers and Heinz Field organization, the whole deal, allowing us to get out there. But that's something that's just kind of my philosophy. I've seen it through the years where, players make plays in that. I mean, you take your starting kicker and you put him in Heinz Field. It's different in Heinz Field than it is in practice field, period. That's the place where he's got to make plays. And I'd much rather see a guy make plays in Heinz Field and miss every field goal in practice. But when he goes out there, do it. Same thing, catching the ball and throwing the ball and making a tackle. So I want our guys getting used to it and feeling comfortable that this is our home and we can make plays.
I blew it too today.
Did okay. It was windy. I didn't see his stats yet, but we have stats on him. But not as good as he's been. He's been the best I've seen. Period. I mean, he's been awesome. So he's been really good.
He looks bigger this year to me. Is it just me, or is he
Blew it?
Yeah. Is he,
Yeah, he's beefed up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's ripped too.
mm-hmm.
If you turn around, you can see him. He's ripped up.
So you're ready to let him try that 60-yarder at some point this year?
Yeah. Last thing. Okay.
Do you-
Got one announcement for you after you got that.
Do you have plans for August to get over to Heinz Field more?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we haven't set the plans, the dates, and really what we can do over there. And then I know it's critical as far as making sure the field looks good for game days for us and the Steelers. So that'll be, touch and go. We have, had those discussions, but they know how important we think it is, and I'm just glad to take it one day at a time.
You mentioned on Thursday practicing in shorts and how that would change the mindset. Is going to Heinz a similar kind of thing?
For them,
Yeah, for the players.
that's something I think you got to ask them. I think it's all about attitude, and it's the attitude you take into it. And I think they had a great attitude coming in today, and I'm sure it's a pain sometimes jumping on the bus and going down there. Why we got to do this, but it'll pay off in the end. I think our kids know that. Last thing is we got the spring game 1 week from now, 1 o'clock next Saturday. We've named, at least talked to two of our honorary head coaches. So we'll name those two guys here today, give you guys a little juice there. But first guy's a guy, great player here at Pitt and great player in the NFL. Guy I met down at the bowl game a year ago when I just got hired. So he was probably one of the first greats that I met here. So I don't know what team he'll be on, but we'll have Tony Dorsett here for the spring game next Saturday. And he'll be the honorary head coach. We're excited to have Tony back in town. I talked to him this week, and he's excited. And then his opponent on the other sideline is going to be a guy that Youngstown native. I think he's beaten me once. I've beaten him once. And he's currently the quarterback coach for the Washington Redskins. So we'll have Matt Cavanaugh back as well to coach the other team. So we're excited to have two great, Panthers back for next week.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.